Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio and welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. It is week 45 of the Margarete Miller Weekly Collage Challenge. Can you believe it? Week 45 already. So I'm going to do collage today using the prompts for this week. And for those of you that are new and not familiar with Margarete Miller's challenge, she has a planner that is available in her Etsy store at mellowmiller that has weekly prompts, and you're to make a collage using those weekly prompts every week. Normally she has 5 prompts and a bonus prompt, and you can choose to do the 5 prompts that she's given you, or if you don't have one of those, you can substitute the bonus prompt, or you can do all 6, and I usually try to do all 6. Occasionally, instead of having the prompts, she will have, create a collage using your favorite color or something like that. But normally what she does is she has like the 5 prompts and a bonus prompt. So this week, what we have is the first prompt is something that reminds you of your grandmother, aunt, or mother. And so I have this flying pig. It is my mother's favorite author was Lewis Carroll, and the flying pig is in reference to a poem by Lewis Carroll, the Walrus and the Carpenter, and it was her favorite poem. And so I have chosen the flying pig, and if you'll notice, that is also the logo on my Etsy store and on my business cards and that kind of thing, and also how I came up with the name Lou Frou-frou. My mother went by Lou, and she always called me her frou-frou artsy fartsy daughter. So that's kind of all how that came about. And so we have our little flying pig. Weather, I found this picture, and it is rain in a rain puddle. So we're going to use that for our weather. Something musical, I have this piece of scrapbook paper that has music on it, and I also have this piano keyboard because I played the piano when I was younger. I haven't played in a long time, but I did take lessons for quite a while, and so I'm going to use that. Something in watercolor, I'm going to use my brushes, and I am going to do that kind of in the background. My favorite word. Now, for this one, I think it could be interpreted a couple of ways. My favorite word, I probably couldn't put on this because it's not a very nice word. It's not terribly bad, but it starts with an S and ends with a T, and I probably use that word way too much, but we won't go that way for this one. So I have taken a dictionary page, and I have, I guess, gotten the word that means the most to me, and that word is family. So I have torn that out of the dictionary. And then bonus is a calendar page, and I have this calendar that is from 1888, and it is just the back of an advertising card, and this is a photocopy of it. It would have had a picture, on this side, but this is just the back of it so that I could get the calendar part. So that's what we're going to do. And I will try to not say my favorite word while we're doing this. Oh, Lord. And we will get started with making the background first. All right. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Brush-Os. They are quite cool. They are a powder pigment, watercolor pigment. And you can get some really cool effects by spritzing your paper and then sprinkling them on, which is what I am going to do. But you can also mix them in a palette with water, you know, and use them like a regular watercolor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm going to spritz my paper just a little bit. And then I'm going to sprinkle these onto where I spritz my paper. Now, the best way to do these, if you get them, is not to open them all the way up, but simply to poke a hole in them so you can use them kind of like a salt shaker. And you're just going to shake the pigment onto the paper. Like so. I may need a little bit more water, but you can see what's happening. Anywhere that there's water, it is reacting. And I actually have several sheets of paper there. It is reacting to the water and kind of spreading out. And we'll do a little bit more dripping and spritzing here. Maybe a little there. I got my Brush-Os through Blink Art Supplies. If you're interested in them, they are really cool, and they come in, you know, a set that has, I think mine has like 12 different colors in it. And I picked those two particular colors because I picked a couple of colors that were in here, or that I thought I could see in here. So that's why I picked the colors that I did. Okay, so in order to make this go a little quicker, I'm going to pause you guys, dry this with my heat gun, and then I'll be right back and we'll do the rest. Okay, I'm back, and you can see I have dried this, and I also inked around the edges, and I used walnut stain for that. And then I also rubbed some antique linen Distress Oxide on there just to get rid of the really stark white. So I'm really happy with the way that came out. And Brush-Os are really cool. If you haven't tried them, I would get a couple. You can buy singles or you can buy the set. Also, I did not mention, this is mixed media paper. Obviously, if you use a true watercolor paper, or you use some paper that you have treated with gesso first, your reactions are going to be different. But, you know, I think it looks really cool on this mixed media paper. So I would just experiment on different kinds of paper. It also looks really cool on like a manila file folder. They do really well on there as well. Okay, I'm just going to rip this, not very well, obviously, music paper here so it doesn't have a straight edge on it. Seriously, let's try it this way. See if I can get that last little bit off. I'm the world's worst about. Oh yeah, that worked. About ripping this paper sometimes. Ripping paper. You would think that would be easy, ripping paper, but no. Sometimes it's not so easy. And like I said, this is just scrapbook paper. It was in my scraps, and so I'm not sure who or what kind it is. To the best of my memory, I believe I got it at Joann's. And, but that, like I said, is a pure guess at this point. This keyboard is in a set that I think is Graphic 45. It's called Love Notes or something like that. And again, it was just a scrap piece that I had left over that I had gotten one year to do some Valentine zipper tags. So there's that, and then I just printed this off the computer. Just searched rain, and this came up, and my little pig's off the computer too, and I think this is actually like a garden statuette. That you can put in your garden. But I'm just using this for me, so I didn't figure the copyright police were going to come out and get me. They might. But I'm hoping it'll be okay. Okay, and then let's ink my calendar. And go ahead and ink my dictionary page. Okay, we got everything all inked up. Now let's put it together. I think I want the long piece to go here in my calendar, and I want to particularly, can't say that word today, show the month of April, because my mother's birthday was in April. So I want to make sure April is showing. And then I thought the rain could go something like that. And then my definition, my little piggy, maybe kind of like that. And then I cut his back leg because he is actually sitting. So I want to kind of put this keyboard can't get it situated, kind of like that, so it looks like he's sitting. And I can't really see my rain. Move this over. maybe down. Move this down. I feel like that's covering up too much of the rain. And then I have my 45, and these little numbers are by Amy at Crafty Cat. And they're great for this, and they're also great to use in journals when you want a number on something and you want it to have a little bit of depth to it or a little bit of dimension. Those are really great. I think something like that. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna want this down first. How is everybody? I didn't even ask. I just jumped right in. I was excited about playing with my brushes. It's beautiful here today. We're having not fall-like weather at all. It's like 70-something degrees. It's gorgeous. I think Monday, I think they were saying Monday, we could even possibly break a record because it's supposed to be like 79. That's just crazy in November. But I'll take it. I don't like the cold weather. And I know I'm probably putting this somewhere totally different than I laid it out to begin with, but you know, that's how I do. I get a general idea and then I start putting everything down, and it always ends up being different. Now let's see if I can put this down here. Well, come on, little piggy. Okay, I'm going to glue his leg here. Legs, plural, more than one. So I don't have to try to place him again. And then we'll glue down our dictionary page. And then okay, so we're going to put the leg of the 4 right on the edge of that. Put our 5. Okay, now I want to bring attention to the word family and also to April 13th, because that was my mother's birthday. And yes, occasionally she did have a birthday on Friday the 13th. And occasionally she had a birthday on Easter. All right, so I'm going to circle family. And this is just a 0.1 pigment liner. And then I'm going to circle the number 13. And there we go. There's our collage. I'm going to smush it down a little bit. Now, I did, after I dried my brushos, I did hit it with the iron real quick because it was, you know, wrinkly where I had gotten it wet and dried it. And I was going to smush it down, but I can't find my paper, my scrapey thing. I have laid it somewhere. Ah, it was propped up, so I couldn't see it. And this will flatten out when I put it in my book. I have a book that I'm keeping all these in. and it'll flatten out, but I just wanted to give it a little bit of help. Oh, and you will see when you use the brushes, it does bleed through the paper, so be careful about the surface that you're working on, and make sure that you have something underneath that will catch that, because it is very heavily pigmented, and it will go right through. But you can see, if you were going to use that in a journal, you know, you'd have a cool slide on the front and on the back. So you kind of get 2 for the price of 1 if you're doing journal pages. And I think it would be really cool to do a journal that you brush out all the pages before you started. That would be a really unique looking thing. All right, so I think we got everything. Let's double check our list and make sure we have something that reminds you of your grandmother, aunt, or mother, and that would be the pig. Weather would be the rain. Something musical, I've got the piano keyboard here and the music. Something in watercolor, we did our brushes background. My favorite word that means the most to me is family. And bonus is a calendar page. So we've got all our prompts, and I think that turned out pretty cute. And, you know, you got a little bit of history about where my logo came from and why I have flying pigs on my logo. And you also got to see brushes. And like I said, you know, try those out. They are a little bit expensive, but if you start with just a couple of colors that you think, you know, that you could use a lot. I used ultramarine and turquoise. So the ultramarine was kind of the purpley looking color, and of course the turquoise is the blue color. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you to start with. The browns are really cool, and they also have kind of a goldy yellow color, you know, that would be great for fall. And then if you want to try them, you know, this time of year, you might want to get a red and a green and try them for your Christmas makes. But yeah, try it out. I think you'll like them. They're really cool. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys back on Thursday for I Saw It on Pinterest. Bye.